Good morning, YouTube, brothers and sisters. My name is Tyler, and in today's video, I would like to discuss one of the comments that were left. And before I do, I would like to say I'm married to my beautiful wife, Jessie, and we have 2 children together. I also am a former Jehovah's Witness. But anyways, in the comments under a Jehovah's Witness discovers new light number 12 from user JP3, um, he says, all of your videos have made sense until this last video. Up into this video, I agreed with your views of what the Bible teaches. At this point, I'm starting to believe you are a troll trying to distort God's word and deceive others in this process. If Yahweh is Satan as you believe, then how do you make sense of Scripture in whole? The position you are taking with Yahweh being Satan is absurd and doesn't hold up to biblical scrutiny in totality. I would love for you to make a video on how all these pieces fit together biblically from your perspective. From Genesis to Revelation, how does this stance hold up? I don't think you can do it, but I'm interested in seeing what linguistic mental gymnastics and manipulation you will have to pull to make the Bible support your view. And another user left a comment. His name is Radaroto. He says, he's likely going to rehash some old Marcionite arguments. It seems the XJW to Marcionite heretic pipeline is real. That's interesting. Well, before I respond to these comments, I would uh, I want to describe to the viewers a mythical creature. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I want you to guess what it is based on these criteria. Okay, it has smoke coming out of its nostrils. It breathes fire. It eats livestock and virgin women. It hoards gold treasure, and it lives in a mountain. If anybody's guessed a dragon, I would say that's correct. However, if anyone has guessed Yahweh, I would also have to say that is correct. Um, Based on the comments of this video, I had not realized how deep of a rabbit hole I've gotten myself into. And um, I'm enjoying it. I really am. I've learned some things about Yahweh, and I believe Yahweh was indeed a dragon, and I will show you why. So we're going to go to jw.org, and we're going to look up each of these characteristics of this dragon. Okay, we're going to search the nostrils. What is this? All right, the nostrils. We're going to go to, let me see here. I have it written down. Psalms 18 and verse 8. Well, this is talking about, well, let's just read it first. Psalms 18 and verse 8 says, this is talking about Yahweh or Jehovah. Smoke ascended from his nostrils, and a consuming fire came from his mouth. Glowing coals blazed from him. So we got the fire or the smoke in the nostrils and the fire breathing already. Now we're going to go to the next characteristic. Psalms 91 and verse 4. Okay. 91 and verse 4. Come here. Let me kiss it. Come here. Mwah. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Psalms 91 and verse 4 says, with his pinions he will cover you, and under his wings you will take refuge. His faithfulness will be a large shield and a protective wall. So here it says that Jehovah or Yahweh has pinions and wings. Well, pinions are flight feathers. They are flight feathers, and yeah, they're in ancient times when people worship dragons, these dragons were depicted as having feathers. So already we know that Jehovah has nostrils that have smoke coming out of them. He breathes fire and coals, and also he has wings, feathered wings, giant feathered wings. So we're going to go to the next characteristic here. We're going to go to, I'm going to see if they have it here. It might be incorrect. Um, Let me see. Trying to find it. I'm going to go to Numbers 31. Numbers 31. Here we go. Jehovah, or Yahweh, then said to Moses, "Take vengeance for the Israelites on the Midianites. Afterward, you will be gathered to your people." So Jehovah commanded this. All right. So what happened? They waged war against Midian just as Jehovah had commanded Moses, and they killed every male. Along with others slain, they killed the kings of Midian. All right, now down here in verse 9 it says, "But the Israelites carried off captive the women and children of Midian. They also plundered all their domestics, all their livestock, and all their possessions. And all their cities which they had settled, and all their encampments they burned with fire." All of this right now is very important, and I'll bring it up at the very end of the video. But they took all the spoil and all the plunder, both humans and animals. And let me see. We're going to scroll down here. Um, so Moses said to them in verse 15, "Have you preserved all the females alive? And look, they are the ones who by Balaam's word induced the Israelites to commit unfaithfulness towards Jehovah over the affair of Peor, so that the scourge came upon the assembly of Israel. Now you should kill every male among the children and kill every woman who has had sexual relations with a man. But you may keep alive all the young girls who have not had sexual relations with a man." So yes, all the male children were killed, and every woman who was not a virgin was killed. What a loving thing. So we're gonna scroll down here. All right, what happened after this? So in verse 31 says, "And so Moses and Eleazar the priest did just as Jehovah had commanded Moses. The spoils, the rest of the plunder that the people had of the expedition had taken amounted to 675,000 flock, 72,000 of the herd, and 61,000 donkeys. The women who had not had sexual relations with a man amounted to 32,000, and the half of that share of those who went out into the battle amounted to 337 flock." We're going to keep going here. The tax for Jehovah from that flock amounted to 675, and there were 36,000 of the herd, and the tax on them for Jehovah was 72. And there were 30,500 donkeys, and the tax on them for Jehovah was 61. And there was 16,000 humans on the tax, and the tax on them were for Jehovah was 32 persons. So from all this, we learned that the Israelites plundered Midian, killed every single male and female that had sexual relations with a man, and they only kept virgins alive, the virgin women. Also, they gave a certain amount of livestock to Jehovah, and among the livestock, they gave the virgin women, 32 of them. It says 6,000 humans, but it was only the women, virgin women, that were left alive. And I've noticed something. You don't ever read anything about these virgin women after this. Not at all. You don't know what happened to them. So we're going to go down here to verse 51. Okay. So Moses and Eleazar the priest accepted the gold from them, all the jewelry, all the gold of the contribution that they made to Jehovah amounted to 16,750 shekels from the chiefs of the thousands and the chiefs of the hundreds. Okay. And Moses and Eleazar the priest accepted the gold from the chiefs of the thousands and of the hundreds and brought it into the tent of meeting as a reminder for the people of Israel before Jehovah. So basically, Jehovah um, was given livestock, virgins, and gold. Well, you know what? That fits our one of our characteristics for a dragon. They eat livestock, virgin women, and they hoard gold. And I'm assuming that this Yahweh did indeed consume all of these things, the women and the livestock. Um, let's see here. Yeah, the last thing. When Jehovah appeared to Moses and Israel for the first time, he was on Mount Sinai, and Mount Sinai was well known for copper mining. Yes, it was a mountain that was abundant in valuable metals. So just by all these things, we have learned that Jehovah or Yahweh has smoke in his nostrils that comes out of his nostrils. Oh, do I have it? I don't have it on me. Oh, it might be my jacket. Here, it's fine. So we have learned that Jehovah has smoke that comes out of his nostrils. He breathes fire. He has wings. He consumes livestock and virgin women. He hoards gold, and his dwelling place is a mountain of valuable metals. All of that proves to me that this Yahweh character was a dragon that the Israelites worshipped. Now, some of you may say, "Well, that's absurd. That's absurd. The it wouldn't be possible." Well, think about it. If all of these things describe Jehovah's physical appearance, it would make sense why he had a massive tent, a massive tabernacle to dwell in that was portable too. And also at the door of the tent, there was always, when it was open, there was smoke that came out. There was. The Israelites prepared Jehovah food daily, and I don't believe I've ever read where um, the offerings that they were made, that had been made to Jehovah, were burnt completely to ash. I've never read this. But anyways, even if you still don't see it, I want to show you something, okay? We're going to go back to Numbers. We're going to go to Numbers 21. We covered this story in the last video. Oops. We covered this story in the last video, all right? And it was about the serpents. So, we're going to read this again. And the people kept speaking against God and Moses, saying, "Why have you brought us up out of the land of Egypt to die in the wilderness? There is no food and no water, and we have come to hate this contemptible bread." So Jehovah sent poisonous serpents among the people, and they kept biting the people, so that many Israelites died. So, we're going to stop here. Poisonous serpents. As my reading of the New World Translation has dwindled away, I've I wanted to see what the King James version had to say about this because it's really interesting. So King James, and we're going to go to Numbers. Numbers chapter 21. All right. Now pay very close attention. It says, "And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, so and they bit the people, and much of the people of Israel died." New World Translation says, um, uh, "poisonous serpent." King James says, "fiery serpent," and King James is far more accurate. Now, when I took fiery serpent and I Googled it and translated it to Hebrew, I'm this is what I got. Okay, so fiery serpent, serpent, Hebrew. Let's take a look at if this happens. Let's go down here. Come on. Nope. I'm gonna do the translation. Fiery serpent, Hebrew translation. Let's see if they have it. Fiery serpent is seraph. Now let's see what the Bible has to say about seraphs. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Seraphs. Mm, we're gonna go to Isaiah. Isaiah 6:2. Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 2. This is what it says. Seraphs were standing above him. Each had 6 wings. Each covered his face with two and covered his feet with two, and each of them would fly about with two. So from here, the seraphs had 6 wings, and it mentions that it covered their face and their feet. So we know that the seraphs are fiery serpents with 6 wings and feet. They were dragons. I mean, it it doesn't really make too much sense. It didn't make too much sense to me that the many times that seraphs were used in the Bible to describe these fiery serpents, that only 2 times in the book of Isaiah they were not translated to fiery serpents, and this is one of the instances. The seraphs, the fiery serpents that bit the people of Israel, were dragons. This is what this says. This is how it describes them. I mean, also, and also, I did some research on the Marcionite teachings and I learned something. I learned that a Marcion believed that there were only 2 gods and one of them was evil, which I believe it was Yahweh. Well, I did believe that there were 2 gods or one God of 2 persons, but now that I've read the Bible more clearly, I have realized that there are indeed far more many gods than any of us know. Well, all of these false religions have some truth to them, and I'm going to show it to you, okay? All right. Okay. We're going to go to Deuteronomy Actually, I'm not going to search it here. Okay. Let me see. Deuteronomy, verse 32, or chapter 32, sorry. We're going to go to the New Living Translation. Here we go. Search. This is what Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8 says. Okay. This is the reason why I don't believe that Yahweh was the Most High God at the time. Never was. In verse 8, it says, when the Most High assigned lands to the nations, when he divided up the human race, he established the boundaries of the people according to the number of in his heavenly court. For the people of Israel belong to the Lord. Jacob is his special possession. We're going to stop there. From these two verses, I have learned that the Most High, which is Jesus' father, separated all these nations. I'm assuming when Nimrod was brought down and the Tower of Babel was destroyed, when all the languages were confused and humans departed from each other, God gave these, what does it say here? The ones in his heavenly court dominion over all these nations. And to Yahweh, he gave the people of Israel. This makes so much sense. Okay? And if you're not convinced by this, I'm going to show you something. Here we go. Daniel 2 and verse 47. The king said to Daniel, truly your God is a God of gods and a Lord of kings and a revealer of secrets, because you were able to reveal this secret. Now let's stop here. This verse right here calls the Most High, Jesus' Father, the God of gods. And I got a question. How can you have authority over anybody if there are no subjects to have authority over? I was always taught that the gods here, the reason why they had a lower G in it was because they didn't exist, and that doesn't make any sense. That would make the Most High a god of nobody, no god. This says he's a god of gods. In order to be a god of gods, there have to be other gods to be a god over. And yeah, God of gods. Lowercase g means that these are lesser gods than the Most High. I believe this. I believe this. But here we go. Here's another one. Who is like Jehovah? Let's see. See y'all. There we go. Psalm 89 and verse 6. It's talking about Yahweh. It says, for who in the sky can compare to Jehovah? Who among the sons of God is like Jehovah? God is held in the all in the council of the holy ones. He is grand and awe-inspiring to all who are around him. So this tells me that Yahweh had a high position among the gods that were subject to the Most High God. It says here, who among the sons of God is like Jehovah? And a lot of people might say, well, this is talking about men. What? No. No, this isn't. Remember, in Hebrews, God says, To which angel did God ever call his son? That's true. We are children of God because of Jesus, and we will be raised to to Him and share in His likeness, basically, at during the end times. But this right here, the sons of God are literal sons of God, lesser gods. Who among the sons of God is like Jehovah? Come on, that's this. Who among the sons of God is like Jehovah? Jehovah was the son of the Most High God. Is the son of the Most High God, and the sons indicates that there are many lesser gods. I do believe that there are many other lesser gods out there. I mean, how do you explain how we as humans learned music or working with tools? Honestly, any of that stuff, agriculture. There's no indication in the Bible that Jehovah or the Most High taught us any of these things. When the angels apparently came down to have relations with the women and gave birth to giants, the Bible says that they were the sons of God. They were lesser gods that did this, not angels. Angels don't have physical forms. At least I don't think so. But anyways, speaking of other gods, I found out recently that Yahweh, because remember, Abraham was from Canaan, and the Canaanites worshiped many gods, and one of them was Yahweh. And you want to know what the symbol, the symbol for Yahweh was, because Yahweh was a god of metals, and the symbol for Yahweh was the serpent on the pole. So we're going to go to King James here. We're going to go back to it because there's something I got to bring out here. Okay. So it's in chapter 21. We're going to go back to the fiery serpents here. All right. Before I do, we're going to go back to the comments. All right. Come on. My computer's being really slow all of a sudden. Yes, I'm going to wait. Okay. All right. News first. Here we go. We're going to go back to this comment. I believe it was by Dustin. He says at the very bottom, I would love for you to make a video on how all these pieces fit together biblically from your perspective. And from Genesis to Revelation, how does this stand up? I don't think you can do it, but I'm interested in seeing what linguistic, mental gymnastics, and manipulation you will have to pull to make the Bible support your view. Well, I'm going to do this. At the beginning of the video, we have descriptions, physical descriptions of Yahweh, and Yahweh is clearly a dragon. And we also have biblical proof that there are many other gods out there that actually exist. Okay, and it would definitely make sense because in the uh in Exodus and the Ten Commandments, the Israelites were commanded not to have any other gods because Jehovah was a very jealous God. Why would Jehovah be such a jealous God if all the other gods were fake? Anyways, now this third thing, I'm going to tie Yahweh completely to the devil because I have tried to connect Yahweh to the Most High, and I have realized that, or Jesus is Father, and I have realized that based on everything in the New Testament that this Yahweh God has done, there is no resemblance between them. None. I can't say that. Yahweh is Jesus' father at all. I can't say this. So, why is that? Let's go back to the book of Numbers, okay? I'm going to go back to the book of Numbers. I should have hit Numbers 21. Numbers 21. I'm going to go to the King James. Numbers 21. Okay. So this is about the fiery serpents. Okay. And then here in verse 8, it says, "The Lord, which is Yahweh, said to Moses, make a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten when he looks upon it shall live." So I've learned a couple things from this. And first of all, it doesn't seem like in this verse here that there was a point where Yahweh had immediately stopped these snakes from biting the people. And second, Yahweh essentially forced these Israelites to worship this idol. And also, and also, the idol itself was made of copper. Um, and the reason why this is because Yahweh himself was known to dwell in the regions where the Mount Sinai was. And Mount Sinai was well known for its abundance in copper. It was great for copper mining. Dragons love mountains filled with metals, right? But anyways, it says here that they should look upon it and live. Yes, Yahweh forced these people to worship this idol, and it's the only idol that Yahweh had permitted the people to worship. But there's a reason for this. If you go to uh, uh, let's go back. We're gonna go to 2 Kings, okay, and chapter 18. Okay, this is talking about King Hezekiah. He removed the high places. This is verse 4. He removed the high places and broke the images and cut down the groves and broke into pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. That's the idol of the dragon. Uh, in those days, the children of Israel did burn incense to it. They worshipped it. And what you see here that I found interesting is that Hezekiah called this uh, serpent idol Nehushtan. So I Googled Nehushtan, all right? And this is what I found. So we're going to go to all. Nehushtan, down here in Wiki. It says, actually, you know what? We got to go to the meaning. All right. It says down here, Nehushtan means the great serpent. Great serpent? That's kind of interesting. There was only one, really, a couple instances in the Bible where I do recall somebody being referred to as the great serpent. Okay. And it's in Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9. Excuse me. So Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9 says, "So down the great dragon was hurled, the original serpent, the one called devil and Satan, who's misleading the entire inhabited earth. He was hurled down to the earth, and his angels were hurled down with him." That's interesting. It calls Satan here the great dragon and the original serpent. Based on all the descriptions of Yahweh's physical appearance, Yahweh was a dragon, and the devil himself here is called the dragon. There's some truth to this. And also, um, Number says that the people were bitten by the fiery serpents. And the fiery serpent's translated Hebrew as seraph, and seraphs have 6 wings and feet. That's quite a coincidence, isn't it? I also want to say uh, here that in Genesis chapter 3, we read something interesting about this serpent's punishment, okay? Genesis chapter 3. We're going to go see all. I'm going to scroll all the way down here. My goodness. Um, all right. So he's talking to the serpent, right? It says here, then Jehovah God, this is incorrect. It should be the Father said to the serpent, or God, said to the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed. You are the cursed one out of all the domestic animals and out of all the wild animals of the field. On your belly you will go, and you will eat dust all the days of your life. But I have a question for you. Why on earth would God curse the serpent to crawl on its belly if that's something it's doing already? There have been many times where the Bible uses the term snake and serpents. They're two totally different things. The reason why this serpent was cursed to crawl on its belly was because it had legs and wings. It was a dragon. It would have to be. That doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense here if it was a snake. But also, yeah, this serpent was Satan, the original serpent, the great dragon. The great dragon, right? And what does Hezekiah call the idol that the Israelites worshipped? The idol with the dragon on it? Nehushtan, which means the great serpent. I There's a connection there. I see it 100% in this entire video. Not only have we learned that the Bible describes Yahweh as a fire-breathing dragon, but also there are many other gods that are under control of the Most High God, and the seraphs themselves were dragons. They were, and also this idol that Yahweh commanded Moses to make was a direct resemblance of him. It was Yahweh. It was his idol. And the idol's name was Nehushtan, meaning the great serpent. The Bible calls Satan the great dragon, the original serpent, the great serpent, the original serpent from the Garden of Eden. I don't know how to connect this anymore. I don't feel like I don't see Yahweh as the father of Jesus one bit. Yahweh had a great high position among the sons of God, but he wasn't the most high, not one bit. He was given the portion of the land of Israel. Israel was his portion. And yeah, I want to say I really appreciate these comments. You know, it's what makes these videos possible. Um, but with all that, I want to say thank you to Dustin for this comment, and also um, Aradoroto, and really everybody who watches these videos. Um, I'll be honest with you. After I left the Jehovah's Witnesses, when I realized that the things that I was being taught was false, I began to read the Bible in a completely different way, and it's what's gotten me down this rabbit hole. And I'm not prepared to climb out of it just yet. I'm searching for truth, and I don't know why the Father even permitted me to even see the Bible in this light. But with all that being said, the Coleman family say, have a good one.